Stockton is, no?
No, that is Currency and Morrison.
Oh yes, Currency.
Yeah. In my youth days, Anthony Johnson for the JLP.
Oh, Tony was quite an historian, no? He passed on.
Yeah,
and his daughter is now the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Right. He was when I was going to primary school, he was the MP for North East St. Catherine.
Quite an historian was Tony Johnson, I can tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that man was love kids. Every Christmas event our primary school of Bonnet Primary, that man was there. Always present himself there.
Yes.
Yeah. But cut thing short, I'm a supervisor of for the Jamaica Labour Party. PD.
So are you going to be coming home for the election, sir?
Me I come home, come vote. Me I come vote, but I'm not the supervisor no more.
You're gonna be coming home to vote.
Yeah.
No, isn't that quite patriotic? That you're gonna be flying down to just cast your vote? Are you're coming down for other things? So you have family down here?
Yeah, me have explain. Yeah, me have a lot of brother and sister. My sister, my elder sister. Yeah, my sister she's the secretary at Currency office.
Yes.
Yeah, so Colin Bailey. Yeah.
Mount Industry and tour drop.
Me know right across. Me do it with Miss Amir. Me do it with Leslie Campbell. Me do it with Currency.
So how you think is our chances going into the election? How is Currency's chances?
I want to tell you, say, if
you say big
Northeast, no, if Northeast St. Catherine was the 63 seat, you hearing me?
Yeah, man, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. If Northeast St. Catherine was the 63 seat, Andrew Wallace could have just cut in 10 at him home with his wife and him 2 sons and just having a drink.
You say Currency can't lose?
Cannot lose. No time at all.
Why? Why is that?
Can't lose.
Why is that?
Over the decade of years, the base of the Jamaica Labour Party is so powerful in North East St. Catherine.
Which one are the division? Which one are the division?
Right across is strong, but it's strong in Geisel more.
Oh.
Strong in Geisel more.
Yes, I see you carry Geisel by over 30 points.
Yeah. Geisel, let me tell you what our biggest downfall.
Before you tell us, Calvert, just stay on the line. Don't move. You hear? Don't move. Stay where you're there.
Yeah.
Stay where you're there. Don't move. We'll be right back. Okay. Stay on the line. Tell you. All right. Sorry. So Calvert, we're back. We're back. You here? Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we someday we'll be together. Eh?
Yeah, man.
When you come on the island, you are to get in touch with me, you know.
Okay.
What you drink?
I drink rum. Rum is my favorite drink.
You're a man of the whites?
Yeah, I drink white rum. Yeah.
All right. So tell us about why you say that Currency is on pole position to get a second term over in St. Catherine, Northeastern. We have online Calvert Bailey, and Calvert is a worker. He has been a supporter of the Labour Party, and he works in the St. Catherine North seat. He's been working there from Anthony Johnson was the member of parliament. Is that correct, sir?
No, I'm supporting. When Anthony Johnson never did have a vote, but I was supporting.
Okay.
Yeah. When Abe Dabdu take over, them I can vote. Then Mr. Amir take over. When Mr. Amir take over now, he seal me in the politics when he take over, cause everywhere the meeting keep, he see me in the meeting them. All over. The meeting then keep, I present myself there.
Yes.
Yeah, so Mr. Amir come and Mr. Amir give me that position for the supervisor. And I work every election, I work beside him. 2023 when 2024 when the local one last year. I was up here.
Yeah. So in terms of the broader politics, Calvert, how you see the country moving at this time? Do you think the third term is on?
Yeah, because our current prime minister now, he gone to poll 38 seats.
You are predicting that the party will get 38 seats.
38 seats.
Yes, but that is not an improvement, man. That is a decline.
Yeah. Oh, you talk like we improve on the 49.
Yes, you
No.
predicting 55. You don't think so?
No.
But why is it that you would be in decline?
All right, this is why me believe that it will decline. Yeah, some people believe in certain things. All right. Them say, let me explain to you. Them say have 28 bank accounts. And you hear people are quiet over that. Remember say him father and his mother give him a good education, for him be where he want to be. And education put him where he want to put. So we can cause people over the education with them parents give them. You get me?
Yes.
Yeah, because if him not qualify for the ICE office in the land, he couldn't have it. He couldn't achieve it. You get me?
Yes.
And me not see when thief no money. Cause me in America just I call it going to 2 years now. And me have at least 3 accounts in America. Me is that American.
Yes.
You understand me? So if you work right in America with the school system up here, me work with the government up here. Chump me work with
you work with the government in America.
Right, the school system me work with.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a custodian and I do maintenance.
Okay, that's nice, man.
Yeah. So you don't quarrel or cuss people over the achievement. Remember say Peter Phillips come with him house and I cuss him over an achievement. Him lose election.
Yes.
You get me? You don't cuss people over the achievement because you know me don't know you what professional you are, but your parents in you go school, you get where you forget and you take up your profession, you go school further yourself and do your job. Me not have no right to cuss you over your money. I cuss you over your values.
Well, I don't have no money.
So when me and my class the prime minister, me have say man have a wife, man have 2 kids.
Yes.
You cannot this some of the time I say for me, mother just leave the politics alone. We me hear them a cuss him and a go on.
Yes. Talbert, the 42% of Jamaicans, according to Don Anderson, 46, says that the country is heading in the wrong direction. Is that why you're abroad?
No, man. No. So
you have what? No, he's breaking. He's breaking up. You're breaking up, Calvert. You're breaking up.
Yeah, me have. You hear me now? You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead now.
You not hear me?
I am hearing
yeah,
you. Go ahead.
I'm have 4 kids.
You have 4 children.
Yeah, man. 4 kids, 2 up here with me. 2 up here with me, 2 down there. Yeah. And two down there. My son come down Friday gone, so he soon come back up. He soon come back up still. But
yes,
I'm here. And when I'm leaving, me leave a goat farm there.
Goat farm?
Me leave my house. Yeah, me leave a house. My house not finished as yet, but nice house. Can live in. And me leave a car. Give me big son there. I was raising cow before me come. Even to the point, currency give me a nice graded ram to breed my goats. And I promised to give her back a pure goat to give somebody else in the constituency. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm here because of my wife.
Your wife?
Yeah. My wife is American, so I'm here because of she.
You married an American?
She used to come to Jamaica like 3-4 times for the year. So I tell myself, say I'm going to, she don't want me to come and thing, and say I'm going to come. But she always saying to me, say, I'm not stopping your back because your culture is Jamaican. So anytime you're ready, take your chip and then you can come back. You get me? So anytime Andrew Wellness call the election, I'm going to ask my job for a week. And I'm going to come 2 days before the voting day and I'm going to pour my vote.
Yes.
Yeah. Surely I'm going to come and vote. Yeah. Yeah, man. Whether Jamaica Labour Party in a government or in an opposition, Northeast and catches in the green column.
In the green, you think it is that certain?
I'm telling you. PG run it.
You have years on the ground in that constituency, sir?
We have a cousin out there. She was a delegate. She leave the politics now, but every day me and I talk politics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, man.
Paul Campbell.
That's third time for the day, man.
Hold up. Paul?
What? Yeah, man.
Paul Campbell?
No, your yard. You know, shut my yard. When you shoot the wall, my man.
The people here are not easy at all. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, man. We're going to get it, but a technical time. We need some water in our community. We know, say, if we not give the leader the territory.
Hold on. This is interesting. Hold on. Hold on. I'm coming right back. Oh my goodness. No, sir. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's good to be back here. Johnny, how you? Oh boy, I tell you. One love. This is Jamaica. We're having fun. Hey, Johnny. Oh. Oh. Good night, Safety.
How you doing, man?
Good night, Safety.
How you doing? Hold on. Hey, what's up?
Waiting on Safety to come in. Come in, Safety. Come in.
Can you hear me?
Eileen.
hear me?
Eileen, how are you? Good night. Good night, Eileen. Good night, Everton Hugh. Good night to you. Shani, you want to come into the box? Let me talk to you. You ready now, Septi? Ready, Septi?
Can you hear me?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Speak up a little bit.
Hey, how you doing, man?
No, not doing too bad. Are you in Jamaica, Septi?
No, I'm in the United States.
Great. You're gonna have to help me a little bit. I need to set up my producer, man. Oh boy. You're a little low though. You're a little low.
But what I'm saying is the third term is loaded, cause
You
just
think
like
you,
what?
you think it is really loading, Septi?
Oh, without a doubt, man.
Is that in the is it diaspora? Which
That's
is the
what
current?
we think. That's what we think,
Can you tell us?
and a bunch of us is about to get back home. Okay.
You are going to be coming back home to vote. Don't you think we should be looking at some electoral reforms to allow people in the what?
Diaspora.
Or diaspora? Which is it?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, but I'm coming down.
Don't you think it's time for us to seriously consider? Do you know, sir, that that Jamaica has 3 million people living here, and that I think that at least that amount is living outside of Jamaica,
or maybe more.
and don't you think that these people have an interest in the politics, in the government of Jamaica?
Most of us, like here in the diaspora, we see what's happening in our country. Okay. We see all those pretty buildings, Jamaica transforming, getting nice, pretty roads and stuff. Not to
mention the remittance, where a lot of you Jamaicans, you support your families back home, eh?
Yes, absolutely. And friends too.
Jamaica, I think remittance is probably the largest or second largest foreign exchange earner for the country. You ought to have a say in the democracy here, man.
Yes, because the first thing is, I wasn't even looking at it like that, but I know, like where we from in St. Thomas, we suffer, bro.
Which of the constituencies are you dealing from in St. Thomas? Which are they?
So I'm in Mr. James Roberts.
That's Western
St. Thomas.
You're in Western St. Thomas.
Yeah.
And
seat loaded.
You think James will get a what, 5th term?
Oh, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt.
Right?
He's already on track, because the real problem that was facing St. Thomas, he overcome it. So he never lost that seat. He never lost that seat unless he wants to resign.
Hold on, never lost it, eh?
Because he pretty much got all his councillor, even the local election that passed the other day. And it just, like I said, even places that I'm thinking that the Prime Minister, based on the job that he's doing right now, I think he's probably gonna flip Jamaica into like really a green country, like with about
you think Jamaica has the potential, Septi, to move beyond third world status into a developed country in by how long? You think we have that ability?
I really think that the next side, they need to let go of this crap about referendum. They need to have Jamaica become a republic. That's the only way the people of Jamaica is gonna feel the
But that is
economic.
going to a referendum soon, though, you know.
Well, they need to do, like, whenever they do that. I mean, Jamaica still need to like fix up a few more roads. You know, make Jamaica like drivable to like wherever you want to go.
Yes,
Like pretty much, you got some places that still need to fix.
yes.
Don't get me wrong, but the nine. I want them say, "Oh, you've been there for 9 years," but the 9 years that this prime minister. Let me actually give it to.
Simply,
But
tell me something.
before you cut this point, let me give it to you before I'm even explain the rest. So I left Jamaica because I lived under the PMP for 18 and a half years. Nothing wasn't going on for me. And God help me, a female from the United States come and get me. You know what I mean?
Boy, you better
And
send one for me.
bro,
Well, that was
she
a
come
joke.
get me and everything worked out perfect. Cause no,
That was a joke, yeah?
I told myself, even though they say, all right, yeah, my wife, cause she said, even though you have to become citizen here, and I said, well, nah, I give up all of my stuff. So is there something else there? And they say, oh yeah, they have a dual. And I take that one because Jamaica is my home. You know what I mean? I'm only
Yeah,
here for temporary until
I'm
my
wanting to
kids.
explore the perspective of those of you in the diaspora.
Mhm.
Um, is there a feeling among yourselves that Jamaica is heading in the right direction? Is that the
Oh,
general consensus
oh,
of huh?
absolutely. I know for me for sure. If I so I'm coming back there to vote, like I said, but I'm still gonna come back here. But if I reach back in America and I heard that PMP won, I'm sorry, bro. I ain't coming back there. We cannot do
If
some
the
no
PNP
more year.
were to win, you would not come back home.
Nope, nope.
What you saying to me?
They have to lock me. I cannot live 18 more here. Not even as much as 5 more year under their administration because I remember,
So let me
bro,
ask you
it
this:
was bad.
do you see a disconnect in Jamaica with the citizens here? Because tell me about cost of living in the United States, Septi. How does it compare to cost of living here in Jamaica?
Well, let me
We
miss
have a
that.
problem. Hold on, a lot of our citizens are saying that you know the cost of living here in Jamaica, we have a little problem with inflation. There are global events, we have no control over that. It has affected the cost of goods and services. How is it in America?
Well, between me and you, we have this conversation with a bunch of Americans, and I was like, "Hey, listen, inflation just hitting you guys. We've been facing that thing forever." You know what I mean? Because inflation here is worse. Okay, maybe like 25% more than what you guys creating in Jamaica. Cause stuff expensive here, bro.
Yes.
So you're renting a 1 bedroom house in the downtown Europe, you pay just check 3,500 American dollar to Jamaican dollar and tell me what you get. So I
Well, it's
mean, so
150 to 1 about that, so we can do the maths. So
yeah,
you are saying
so
that the challenges we are facing in the economy as it relates to price rises, it's not a Jamaica thing, it's a global thing, eh?
I just think the challenge in what we're facing is just misinformation out there. It's just a bunch of, you know, like say stuff just to gain your way back into Jamaica house.
Uh-huh.
And because people in my people in my age group, we feel the pinch under the comrades. Okay, we it's not like I'm telling you this because I wasn't there when the 18 and a half years Pretty much it's like what 24 and a half years or 23, one of them, because remember Portia did come in for a few of it to see him with. So
Yeah. So what is it? Why don't you guys start some dialogue about the need to be more involved in the political direction that the country takes? Because quite frankly, about 800,000 Jamaicans will choose the next government. Maybe 450, 500,000 will vote one way or the other. The challenge with Jamaicans is that a lot of us have become quite transactional. In other words, I think if you are able to buy, BUY, 100 people and you divide them across the 63 constituencies, you could easily win the election. The point I'm making to you is that I don't know that we do have a democracy if our electoral process is so fragile and susceptible to the influence of money. I don't think that could be said of those in the diaspora. Is there a conversation happening that you can tell me about that, is going to get you to kind of force some electoral changes here?
well, we can arrange that because I spoke with a bunch of Jamaican here. We have a bunch of them here who actually support Comrade, but we still close because it's like we both here in America. So I mean, so you can say, yeah man, my party do this. I mean I say, hell no, your party not do shit. Cause I was there most of them times. So don't tell me what your party do. And so we having like a discussion, friendly discussion, then later because I'm telling you, I spoke with like a few of them, and some of them I said, hell yeah, you ever see what Andrew doing? Andrew putting like highway and stuff. I'm saying, all right, good, you're up on the right track. So once them start say highway and stuff, I know they're following the news or they're following the blogger or information. So some of them is like original, but not my age group.
Let me hear from Mansa?
Mansa?
Yeah.
Good night to you.
Good night, laborites.
Hold on, Mansa? Mansa?
Yeah, Mayor.
What is your name?
Mansa.
Mansa. All right, Mansa, you started out wrong, and I must correct you. You see? Hello?
Yeah, by saying good night?
No, by saying labor rights.
Yeah, but it's a labor right platform, so I said good night.
No. Don't start this, man. You know if you do that. You don't do that. You want to make a point. You come on, don't label people, sir. I am a Jamaican. Don't say that.
Oh, I mean, man, talk, man. You know, say me a labor rights. So
no, man, it's a labor right platform. You're blogging for JLP, right?
I'm No, sir, you're wrong. Go ahead. You have a point?
Okay, all right. What's his name? Septi is from Western St. Thomas, right?
Yeah.
And that seat is a toss-up seat. Here, why I say that. You deal with the numbers, us, because a couple of times I see you looking up the numbers. But can you look up the numbers from the 2016 election, the results from Western St. Thomas?
Because I don't have my people with me, so I don't have them.
All right.
I probably can give you the number from 2020.
No, man, you can't look at 2020. You know why you can't look at 2020 results? Because that was a pandemic result, and that was the lowest voter turnout.
Go ahead. Well, go to the parish council election then.
No, we can't even use that because parish council you're gonna get the full voter turnout, so you can't even really use
the trend. At least you see the trend.
All right, I don't really know about the parish council result.
All right, so it's one of the battleground seats, you say?
Yeah, it will be because 2016 James Robertson won it by 380 votes. The PMP got 9,100 and something, I think. and the
Yes.
JLP got 9,500.
Comrade, Blue Dot is suggesting that the party is 20 points behind in St. Thomas. You don't make up 20 points in a couple of months.
I was just about to tell him that
No,
we actually 60 points.
Hold on, Septi. You don't make up 20. There are 20 points ahead. What could happen in St. Thomas? Mansa. You don't think that the road, the highway that the government has built in and out of St. Thomas is a fantastic project?
It's a fantastic project that Portia Simpson started.
Just say yes, though. Is it a fantastic project?
I'm agreeing it's a fantastic project that Portia Simpson started when she went to
St. Thomas in terms of development that you are supporting?
Hold on, man. Manza, I don't understand what you say because where you live? Because you don't live at St. Thomas. Where you talk about, you don't have no history at St. Thomas, my general.
Why you say that?
Because you say James win it by this and James win it by that. Yeah, that was a recount. After the recount.
No man, that's on the EOJ website.
Based on some. I understand
that. The EOJ.
I understand that too, but the official result was how much?
Septi, I've been really wanting to talk to our comrade, Mansa.
Okay,
Mansa.
Yeah, man, yeah.
What it is that the PNP is offering Jamaica today that the current government is not already offering? What are you offering Jamaicans going into the next election? Tell me.
Accountability. We've never seen a PNP administration with the levels of corruption that we're seeing in this JLP government.
Hold on, man.
So that will be.
I have to take a little break here. Hold on. Don't move. Never gonna challenge you. Hold on. Don't move. Mansa is on.
Foresight, may I get to that part? Just hold on, may I get to them levels though. Hopefully we can go back to St. Thomas too.
St. Thomas whatever. St. Thomas whatever.
I talk about St. Thomas Western. I come from St. Thomas Western, so we know what time.
I'm sorry. Mansa? Mansa?
Yeah. I say the PNP.
Hold on, Mansa. Hold on. You have to hold on, because we're going to be fair, and I want to hear from you as my brother. But I have Protecting Jamaica online. Protecting?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Protecting. I want you to talk with Mansa for me. I'm going to listen. I don't have all the facts. My system is not up, and my co-host is not here. So I want you to handle this gentleman for me, please, sir. Go ahead.
Can protecting provide the numbers that you don't have the numbers? Your system's not up.
You mean the electoral numbers?
No, I can't provide.
Yeah, the numbers to show.
I can't provide the numbers.
You can provide the user.
No, I can't provide the numbers.
Not really. But
what I'm able to say to you, Mansa, is what I'm going to say to you now, Mansa, or Mansa Musa. I'm very curious, mysterious though, Mansa Musa. What I'm going to say to you, and I'll start here. Comrade follower, all is not well. And I'll start right there.
All is not well where?
Comrade follower,
Everywhere.
all is not well. Okay?
Protecting
all
and
is not
mindset.
well.
Do we want to listen to those two?
All is not well everywhere. And the truth is, we can swing the numbers anywhere we so choose. And I'm a little bit, I know that because neighbor, maybe he just came on for a little bit. He's not with his usual maybe diary or so on, or
I don't have my equipment up.
Right, for the numbers. But there are more than just the numbers that is factored into the landscape of politics, especially in the local, and all politics is local. The truth is, Mansa, the PMP will have to target, as we were in that conversation this evening, neighbor. They will have to target, but they will
protecting. I understand, because I got information in preparing for today's program that is a discussion that they have had.
Right.
That based on the blue dot polls, there are some seats that they cannot win, and therefore they are refocusing the campaign to target some seats.
Right.
What is the blue dot poll? No, when we are talking to discuss not about the blue dot poll. Blue dot poll are full.
No man,
blue dot poll are madness.
And them know it's about, we don't know why them keep quoting it.
Good night. Good night to the panel. Good night.
Just as
Good night.
User, make her
Good night,
respect.
gentlemen. Good night.
I wouldn't say I'm foolishness, but make her respect the platform.
Can you give me a minute, please, sir? I am at work. I just want 1 minute protecting JA. Good night to the panel. To Mansa, this is an article from the Gleaner, January 18, 2017. It says Finance Minister Audley Shaw says that Jamaica will save about $100 million from revamping the first phase of the Southern Coastal Highway. Shaw said at a forum on Wednesday night that he plans to travel to China next month to sign the loan agreement for the project. Phase 1A of the project linking Harbourview to Morant Bay was projected to cost $500 million and additional $400 million under Phase 1B to extend the highway onward from Morant Bay to Port Antonio. Right? So I don't know where you get the idea from that Porsche had plans for the Morant Bay from some highway, and that it was Portia's idea. I'm not saying that Portia didn't have a plan, but in 2018, it was Audley Shaw who went to China to secure that loan for that highway. And the article is there in the Gleaner, sir.
Thank you
There's
so
any
much
pictures
for
of him?
clarifying
There's any
that.
pictures of him going? There's any picture of him going to China? Because we have the pictures with Portia from 2015 when Portia.
You can go and research that, sir. I am not
there's an
in
article.
debate with you. The article is there.
All right, let's see you with that. All right, make a statement.
All right.
We'll see that.
Hold on, let me finish this. No, she give you the point there. I was just about to explain how the whole system works. So portion, when name Peter Philip, the one of them say, yeah, we're gonna give St. Thomas highway, but their plan was to push it through the mountain. It wasn't gonna go through to Port Antonio. It wasn't gonna go to Cedar Valley. So let me tell you this, that was a scam for them to get re-elected again from St. Thomas. But we showed them, said no, St. Thomas people is tired of the crap. They don't want to curse nobody rather than neighbor media, you see me?
Please don't. Thank you. People from the community and the church listen. Including students.
Thank you for that, Septi, and
there are students who tune in, sir, to learn the politics. We want to be respected. Okay, thank you.
So
protecting. Well, me just I'll be brief and quick. Yeah. So even China media brought that news. So those things have been in plan before Portia came to power. Well, when she was given her mandate, right? And it's there. You can go and search for it. But I am concerned about the user person because he seems to be making a bag of noise on here and he's not here to debate and use actual facts,
No,
you know,
no, man, him
and
good, man, him good.
credible
You see,
things,
him mute.
credible
Him mute.
information. I muted him.
Yes.
Go ahead,
Protecting.
yeah.
Before
So
you
as I
come,
was saying now,
I want to say something. I do not want us to discredit polls. Polls are what we use to analyze numbers. Whether you believe them or not, I think we must accept the polls as they come. We will critique the Don Anderson poll as it comes out. It is coming out this week. We have been doing that. We do not want our guests to talk nonsense about Blue Dot.
I mean, I use polls. I use polls for what they are. But as Mansa said a while ago, they don't agree with the Blue Dot. I use Dan Anderson poll.
And the polls also
when I go to the toilet,
Labour Party is 20 points ahead in St. Thomas. I didn't say that. That's what the polls suggest.
Blue Dot is relatively new.
That's it.
Right, Protective. Blue Dot is relatively new.
It has nothing to do with their newness.
Mansa.
So wait there.
Mansa.
Wait there. If they don't have a track record, you're going to just believe them and they have a track record?
My brother.
They have a track record of greater accuracy in recent years. The Blue Dot has been more accurate than the Dan Anderson poll in recent years, sir.
A poll is a market research.
Said you guys were going to win 2020 and you won. Right?
No.
Dan Anderson said you were going to win 2020 and you won.
Dan Anderson never said that.
Mansa, Dan Anderson did not say that. Dan Anderson said that the PMP was going to win by 6 points. And when the Blue Dot final poll said that the JLP is on track to win another term, that's when Dan Anderson said there's a huge swing in the final week to the JLP because he could not explain the truth. Okay? So guess what? Just as how you discredit the Blue Dot poll, I use Dan Anderson poll at the toilet. As I was saying before, there are more factors than just a poll because the poll is a snapshot in time and it is market research. It is a research that captures what is happening within a moment in time. So even that can change. So whatever the JLP is leading by 6 points nationally now, it can change next week by whatever means, even though I'm thinking it could be a miracle. And say that the PMP is leading. The point is...
You disconnected them, Philip,
The point is, Mansa, it doesn't matter if you're going to stay.
No, I did not. 1 minute. I did not. They jumped off.
Them gone?
Okay.
Yeah, they jumped off.
They will not want to have any substantial conversation. And neighbor, you have to understand the space. This is how they are. They will not want to have the discussion because it is not ever going to be in their favor. Okay?
Neighbor.
So they will not want to have a discussion.
Protecting Jamaica. Believe it or not, that highway was part of Bustamante master plan with Kenneth Lightburn because St. Thomas was the first industrial belt.
Yes, but it was also a part of Bruce Golding plan. Bruce Golding and Adley Shaw between 2007 to 2011 was seeking financing for below St. Thomas. So not because Portia come now and because, again, the PMP does not know how to even negotiate anything. Portia wanted to build a toll road through the hills. Is a toll road through the bush, then they never build. Andrew decided yeah, Andrew decided.
Once they realize that the conversation going to be facts versus facts, them are going to jump off. Them not going to stay.
And septic.
Because them not have the facts.
Septic, you are from St. Thomas.
They want a space for them
Yes,
to come and tell them
That's
lies.
how where you run gone, man. Where you run gone.
You see that
Come on.
you see that left turn you make when you pass through Yalas, the industrial belt. A lot of people don't know that it exists, you know. A lot of factories up there were abandoned. It was Kenneth Lightburn dream.
All right, so that's why I tell you how wicked them that party is, brother. The man then shut down good here, you know, man. The man then shut down good and lay about what? Almost 28,000 people. To St. Thomas in a crisis. That one named Lambert Brown. I go on like him and nobody right now. Going come in with the union crap. Mash up St. Thomas and say, don't worry about it. We just, we just do something to it in the future.
He was sent. It was a mission of the PMP to shut down every major employer of people. Why? Because as long as people are independently earning, the PMP cannot control them. So just like Michael Manley said in the 70s, we are work for little or nothing, stay home and the government will take care of you. PJ was Michael Manley right hand, and PJ came with the same bullshit. And he gave Lambert Brown a message. He gave him a mission to go right around the country, go lock down everything. Lambert Brown locked down left, right, center, street, and lane. Because they cannot control people who are independent. And the people of Jamaica need to understand this. The PMP are afraid that another term, if Andrew get another term or when Andrew get another term, the PMP are afraid that they will be obsolete because they function of chaos and poverty. And no longer is chaos and poverty directing the Jamaican landscape.
Any industry
protecting, develop on that, because I heard you made that point, and it is very, very interesting. I've been thinking about this shift in the ideology of Jamaica, the thinking of Jamaicans. You really think that Jamaicans have moved away and are taking their politics more seriously? You really think that's happening?
The Jamaican people have not yet warmed up to politics. And that is where I believe the politicians are making a mistake. I don't think Andrew making that mistake. And that's why I see Andrew stay on the periphery. And when he speaks to the Jamaican people, he speaks to them respectfully.
Yes.
Notice when the opposition speak to Jamaican people, they speak to Jamaican people as if it is the same group that they controlled in the 70s.
Very
and
interesting. So the intelligence, the expansion of education, the expansion of media,
right,
socially change that you think the PNP has not yet caught up with. And I've noticed that for true, that Andrew have a conversations with Jamaicans. Yes. But they were coming from the day when you speak down to people.
Mm-hmm. And we have to understand the history of that. The history of that is that the PMP was never established for the people.
Oh.
The PMP was established for the lawyer class.
The drum beer party.
For the white colonial master. And that is the reason why that race has its place in this election now. Because the very PMP that people following behind was not established for people. It was established as a boys club, as a social club that served the plantocracy of Jamaica.
How did they develop the socialist policies in the 70s?
Because they saw that Buster was popular.
Michael, protecting Jamaica. Just give me a minute. What you asked a while ago, neighbor? Remember, Michael Manley is Buster's cousin and uncle. Left the uncle part for now. So Michael Manley spent more time with Buster Manley learning poor people politics. So when Manley took over the party after his death of his father, he introduced poor people politics to the PMP.
Which you think informed their socialist ideology and the policies that were pursued, which basically wrecked the Jamaican economy.
Definitely.
And they didn't care, because for them it was just a means to an end. The PMP has never cared about Jamaica. It's just a means to an end for them.
In America, we never hear nobody pay taxes for 9 years. That's a history ever created in any country. Okay? No new taxes, a history that. Because every simple thing here, they tax, okay? So when the Prime Minister in Jamaica said no new taxes, and this next one he must say no new taxes again, me say, if Jamaican people ever be stupid and go vote in this madman, we're going down a compound, but drink rum, and they make them a rub rum in the head.
Those
all in the man all in the man on for deport, then the man from Jamaica, and then the
Yeah,
man
man.
to get deport.
me support that too,
I
brother.
agree with you.
Me support it 100%.
Hey, protecting Jamaica. You know that last weekend he was in the West. And the man is he make it he must state it that him pen the Integrity Commission Act. So he knows it.
Yeah.
But listen this one, and he is going to tell the Governor General to be careful of the diet labor right. That
Yeah,
man
but
want to put in it.
can't
And in
the
the
Governor
same
General
statement, he said that only the Governor General can appoint somebody. The opposition leader or the Prime Minister can't oppose it.
He can tell the Governor General that because the King sent him to come give the Governor General instruction. Because under the current constitution, the Governor General carry out the King's whatever. So he's now emerging as what we know he has been all along. A British spy. He's an agent of the British monarch. So him can advise the Governor General.
One thing me have to say before me have to jump off, me I beg you please. You can't have this one man I got stop Jamaica progress. Well, was even born in Jamaica. Straight up. You see me? You cannot tell Jamaica, boy, yeah, you can't be republic because I'm not time yet. Who is you? You know, you barely come to Jamaica and inherit our wealth, create wealth for yourself from for the Jamaican people. And then you gotta tell we say we cannot have republic.
Hey, Scratchy, before you go Scratchy, we Jamaican people don't listen to details, you know. And that is one of our major downfall, you know. Mr. Golin was appointed to the Senate by Sister P. All the man life he used a British passport. But at the time when she appointed him as a senator, to enable him to get a diplomatic passport, you have to have a Jamaican passport. At 40, that is the time the man apply for a Jamaican passport. And you want to come and lead Jamaica?
And because Labour Party forced him to go get one. Because when Mr. Warmington, the fire piece, Mr. Warmington said, oh, no man, when I come here, you can't come rule me. You see me? And I real talk the man I make. Because right now, none of we, as diaspora, we can't run for office in another country. We might can run for like some local election, but not for no state. You see me? That out of jurisdiction. They need to put that up in a Jamaica jurisdiction. And that's why Golden no want that to happen, because children know whatever it's there now, they can jump in and do what they want to do and trick Jamaica people again. But I'm telling you this time, I'm coming down to vote, and when we vote and come back home, if we don't make that PMP come back in power, no nah, see me until Labour right win again. I swear.
One thing you have to understand is when you don't have history, you pay to manufacture one. And that's why all the people who follow Mark Golding, they know better, you know. But they will never say better. Why? Because they are paid to say what they say. There's nothing about Mark Golding that tells us as Jamaicans that we can trust him. Nothing about him that tells us that we can trust him. And then this foolishness that come with time come. Time come for what? Time come for you.
Time come for the Labour Party fix up the road. Tell them, no man, time come for fix up the road. Time come for we give them highway. And time come for build new hospital. And that way I do.
Golden parents and his grandparents dead left all of the slave money in England. Theme. Time come for you to go home, Mark Golden. You have claimed it already. You have claimed your birthright. You have claimed your inheritance. And you live off of the backs of slaves. Will you come
now
and
they need a prime minister there. They need a prime minister in England. Tell him to run feed.
Will you apologize to us? Your grandfather and your grandmother owned slave in a Senton back in the day. All of them money they were then dead left for England. Will you apologize and give it to the Jamaican state as reparation and give us some reparatory justice? Will you? And that is the reason why the difficulty we see in those people who support Mark Golding And they will run when the conversation gets real, because they cannot counter the truth and the evidence that we will show. They cannot counter it. And that's why I see that guy earlier over the next live. Not before too long, him start SYM. Because all they do is spread lies and misinformation to confuse people.
Yes. Scratchy has joined us. Good night, Scratchy.
Blessed night there. Blessed protect.
They are my brother. They are
Long time.
Yes, I.
Scratchy.
Yes, neighbor.
The government has an exceptional record going for a third term. I can't remember any government in the history of Jamaica that can boast this type of record. It's exceptional. Don't you think so?
Such stellar performance.
Yes?
Such a stellar performance going into our election. One of the things that
has troubled me though is how is it that there is a disconnect? And I think that is what is wrong with the Timecom message. I think the Timecom message sounds good initially, but when you drill into what it is suggesting, you realize that it is opportunistic. It's an opportunistic message that has not resonated outside of the PNP's base. Because I think the majority of Jamaicans, irrespective of what the polls say, are supporting the efforts that the government have made. Isn't that your view?
Most definitely, neighbor. What we have to understand in the neighbor. First thing we know, we have to come to reality and understand that no matter how much the government does or how much the government do, there's a part of this population that is divided in terms of politically. They will always try to hold their ground same way and support the People's National Party. They're never ever gonna come on board and say that, hey, yes, we love what the government is doing, but despite what the government is doing, I am a PNP. That's how we need, even if they just to be real with themselves and say, yes, the government is doing well, but despite what the government is doing, I am PNP. Instead of coming out and spewing lies and propaganda, even a blind man can see what this government is doing. This government has done so much.
Yes. It's Scratchy. 9 years of no new taxes is unmatched. That can be.
If you check across the Caribbean island and other jurisdiction, Jamaica is probably the only country right now in the world that's going 9 years without any new taxes, and still managed to come out of a hurricane, still managed to come out of the coronavirus with 12 consecutive quarters of growth. We were just recently slowed by Hurricane Beryl and the heavy rains from Raphael. Just imagine if we didn't have Beryl and Raphael, how much further we would have been right now.
Yeah, and how significant is the two quarters of decline? How significant do you think that is going to be? How is it playing out there in the politics?
Based on the budget that the government has presented, we have seen that it has affected us in some way, yes, based on our planning going forward, but it hasn't affected us much that in any significant way, because the government has still managed to tell us that there will be no new taxes coming up in this budget, same way, despite the setback from a major hurricane and the rainfall. I think one of the greatest things that offset some of our damages is the catastrophe ban that was orchestrated by our great Prime Minister and the Maestro Nigel Clark. That has helped us so much to cushion this fall.
Right. And Scratchy, the Prime Minister remains largely popular in the country.
No, not just in the country, but the Prime Minister right now is probably the most popular leader in the Western Hemisphere.
Yes?
Yes, it would be yes, very
popular.
Yeah, it would be, we'd be taking from him if we just classify him by just being the most popular leader in the country. If you check right now in the Caribbean, the Prime Minister, I wouldn't take anything from Mia Motley, but I would say that the Prime Minister and probably Mia Motley are the two most popular leaders right now who are carrying the Caribbean and Latin America and they're back in terms of representation.
Absolutely. I'm going to get back to that, but you know, Scratchy, the done and the polls are out, and you know what they call the social proof in polls?
Expound on that.
Okay, so the social proof is a psychological phenomenon where people follow the actions of others in an attempt to reflect the correct behavior for a given situation. So it is based on the assumption that since others are doing it, it must be the right thing to do. You know, it's the Robert. I think the gentleman's name is Robert Kalidini, something like that. And he coined this term about the social proof of polls.
Yes.
Do you think that we risk Jamaica to put polls up that has this psychological impact?
We have seen the People's National Party try to use that psychological impact.
The polls suggest that one party is ahead. The people will tend to go in that direction.
Most definitely.
Not the accuracy of the polls, you know. So
yes,
polls
yes.
can be used to manipulate people.
Yes, we have seen the People's National Party done it in the past based on their previous polls. Again, neighbor, I have said that the reason why I stand by the latest Blue Dot poll is I am yet to see the hierarchy, high-ranking members of the opposition come out and bash it. So it simply shows that this poll is reflecting the same, that their polls are also reflecting they're in decline. And yes, I think this poll, the Blue Dot will motivate some. The Blue Dot, it have it good and it bad. It can motivate and it can also cause some form of complacency. But as Protecting JA always say, we are not in the mood of complacency right now. We are the Jamaica Labour Party. We saw what happened to us in the local government election. We see and we judge and we know what happened to us in past election where we get.
Going to not. What is going back to now? Sorry guys, that was my
Boy, it's hard to manage everyone. Minto,
yeah, good night again, neighbor. Walk on.
Hold on a little bit. I'm
kind of on the road, but more put in one and few, but go and listen, because me I go and listen. So go and talk, I mean.
Yes, so
mute please.
Polls have what is called the social proof. In other words, when people read the polls, they believe in the character and credibility of the pollster, and they believe this is the thing. So in other words, if you want to give people an impression that one party is ahead, all you need to do is to put out a poll that says you're, however how many points ahead.
Yeah, but you have to also be careful.
I think we have discussed this before, that we have to develop, I think, in Jamaica, an institution that does polling on behalf of the nation, like the Statistical Institute of Jamaica.
Exactly. We have said that before, that we need a more independent body who is non-partisan and non-biased in their findings, come out and show us exactly what is going on.
We can't go there. We can't go there. Our society is too polarized for that. We have not gotten to the level of democratic maturity to do that. Because guess what?
Doesn't statin operate for both governments?
Yeah, but what you have to understand, all right, let's say for example, we notice already the PMP will use any situation and turn it into some petty problem because they want to rile up their base. And why can they do that? They can do that because they understand that our society isn't mature enough to be able to analyze and to be balanced in all respects. They know that one, the society is polarized. That's number one. But number two, because we have predominantly those who vote are either the marginalized, the under, or the uneducated. They know that they can manipulate the messaging out there, and then they can have these people in their pockets within a second. So when you use a national institution to do polling, let's say Statin now, you use Statin, which is a national institution, to do polling, And if the poll is against the PMP and the PMP don't like it, them just dirt statin. And once a dirt statin now, then any other data that statin will put out as a national data, the people will not believe statin.
What about the Electoral Commission of Jamaica? Isn't that a body that both
We
parties
cannot,
have?
yeah, but we cannot use a national institution. What I'm saying, until we get the people to a level where they are educated and they are mature.
Protecting JA. Not to stop you or to oppose, but just to challenge you a little bit. We have seen where Statin has released unemployment rates. We have seen where Statin has also tell us whether our economic performance. So if these are you saying then if these are not in favor, what would a government do to Statin then? In favor of a government.
Right. But guess what? Can you imagine now Statin were to do a political
neighbor,
poll?
mute me for a little bit, neighbor. Sorry, bro.
And the political poll is going to say the JLP is leading the PMP. Then what do you think is going to happen? See Mansa just a while ago, him don't like the blue dot because the blue dot said JLP a lead. And I'm telling you, I know the PMP. This is how petty they are going to be. And they are going to destroy national institution. The PMP have no problem in making Usain Bolt's private transactions a national political issue. They have no problem in politicizing the DPP. They have no problem in politicizing something that is good for everybody. Constitutional reform.
Give us an example, Protecting, of a society that you think is politically mature.
A society that is politically who?
Mature.
And all right, let me first put in the context when I speak of political maturity. Let us use as an example the society, the United States of America. We saw just in 2020 that a bullish capitalist entered politics and get one half of America to eat the other half. Even though, you know, this would have been boiling undercovers for a long while, the American people have always accepted their election results. But all of a sudden now, this person came in and polarized the landscape. People were inside the speaker's office sitting on her desk. And that was just within the short space of a time. Now, just consider a Jamaican society that people primarily vote off emotions. When you see the American citizen tune into the news and they are able to understand that, all right, this is what the government is doing. You talk about Article 51, they talk about this. Even the child in America who goes to preschool can tell you what part of the Constitution speaks to their right. We don't have a society like that. We have a society that is just emotional, and that is the reason why it is sort of a trigger situation where you just wait until you get in an election campaign, you just use some buzzwords and time come and all sort of foolishness. Black man time now. A foolishness them there. Those not speaking to the issues, the overall issues of the country. Those not speaking of how to strengthen the economy and to improve people's lives. But buzzwords is just an emotional thing. So until we get to the point, as we see the Prime Minister is doing now, where you reason with people, Lee Kuan Yew have to do it too. Singapore would never be what it is today. Lee Kuan Yew had to sit with the people every quarter. He met with one segment, one province, and discuss with them and said, this is where I want to take the country, and it's going to be a long journey and it's going to be tough, and I want you to come along with us because in the long run, our children and our grandchildren will be better off for it. And he didn't stop until he got the people to trust him that what he was doing was for their benefit. We see the Prime Minister trying it now. But when you have one political party trying to lead the people to become more politically mature and understand the issues that affect them, and then you have another political party, them just want to use slogans and slangs and artists on stage and suck your mother and something there. What do you think gonna happen?
But Protecting,
all right, let us try this experiment.
Protecting, how do we get to a society then where
it is built
No,
time.
I'm saying, well, let me finish. Where do we get to a society where we can have a poll being presented to us without one half of the country, because there are persons who are doubting the blue dot polls, there are persons who are doubting the Dan Anderson poll. What do we believe?
When we educate our people, we are never going to come out of this rut. And let me tell you something. It might take another generation for us to get there. But if we shy away from it and do not begin to build that kind of awareness in our society, we will never get there.
But protecting in the raw politics, do you think that the JLP risk losing support if it does not engage in some of the rancor?
What we see the JLP is doing is very smart. And we were in that discussion this evening, and it was about whether the party from Central attacks certain issues publicly, or you cause the people who are in the party who have certain responsibilities to do so. You have to approach it smartly, because again, the party have to recognize that the operation of government is different from the operation of the party.
Exactly.
And so for any party in government, it's going to be sticky to separate the operation of government from the operation of party.
You think the labor rights understand that sufficiently?
Labor rights are usually the educated bunch in the voting class. We are usually those who understand, and we are usually those who are quickest to hold our government accountable. The PMP people who follow the PMP, it pains my heart when me have to refer to them as some empty barrels. Them not understand very much. Them just want a popular leader to just reel them up, and that's it. And so when you find the Labour Party supporters, if the party don't do well, and if the party engage in too many things that we question, you will find the supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party just sit down and don't vote.
Before you come in, DJ Minto, I noticed, for example, that the United States, they have large rallies, but these rallies mainly are, people going up to make presentation, to speak. There's no fussing out, and you think we have to change the body politics and get to a more mature,
Just as we're having this kind of conversation now, it is our party that has changed that kind of politics, and we are engaging in a sensible kind of politics now, because we're having discussions about the issues. You will never find that on the other side. I am sure right now, if one of we jump off and go over Caution or over J. Brand, you're going to hear some sucking mother over there and who for draws, and that's all you're going to hear over there. Because that's what they dabbling, their people, that's what they like.
Holy politics.
Discussing the issues of our country.
And there is a sense in which the dirt sells.
The dirt sells and I will tell you that I am still optimistic about the future of Jamaica. The dirt is now being sold to a small number of Jamaicans. But
exactly.
The PMP don't see that yet. After this election, the PMP is going to see that the support that they have for the dirt is dwindling, and the support for conscious public discussions about national development is growing.
That is fascinating, and I really hope so. I really hope that we can lift the politics out of the gutter.
And protecting. I think the Jamaica Labour Party is playing a key role in that, in lifting the politics from the dirt. We have seen the approach that the party leader and the party has taken. A more cautious rather than a confrontational approach.
Yes.
And I think that is doing very well for the society.
Of course. We're communicating with people, we're reasoning with people. When we have a press conference, when there's a presentation, we're literally just communicating in a sensible way to people. We're not dumb people.
Protect your game. Hold on, let me say something before Machiala died. Then, our next thing where neighbor we not really talk about, this Prime Minister is a Prime Minister where we never see before. Where what we mean by this Prime Minister coming like a counselor, not just coming like a Prime Minister. When time you see Prime Minister, you only see him on TV and them something there. This Prime Minister is not like that. is very socialized, where we never used to get from the other PM them. Alright, if he bring across something and people doesn't like it,
me too.
And he hear people talk about it and he not like it, him try to change it. And them look, him take criticism very, very generous. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah. The man have the whole package, Bridget. The man have the whole package. Not about just the work that he's doing, but the man have the whole package, meaning he's socialized with people. People can go to him like a MP. I know he's an MP, but you know,
yes,
he look at he doesn't look at higher standard just to him is the prime minister. You can reach out to him like that.
Background nice, me too.
Odion, you have to come on for 10 minutes, please.
So before Odion jump on, I'd just like to so the very first topic you mentioned about that subsect of Jamaicans.
Yes.
What? Yes, that feel that they're not seeing any other prosperity and feel the country's going in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Allow me to play devil's advocate for one moment, because I typed it in the chat and I think the party runs the risk of making the same mistake that the Democrats did in America, that despite the provable macroeconomic successes, right, the other party was able to say, but look at the price of eggs, look at the price of eggs, look at the price of eggs, and beat that into the brain of the average voter to the point where they said, okay, yes, you've decreased our budget deficit. Yes, you've created $500 billion by virtue of the CHIPS Act, right? Passing legislation that is increasing foreign investment from foreign companies. And despite all of that, each of these examples that I just gave, Brogard has done something similar. Despite all of that, the Democrats still lost because the mind of the average voter, the quote-unquote common man, is just looking at the price of eggs. And I think that could encapsulate that the possibility of them not winning.
You are correct. Let me
respond. I'm listening.
Respond to Cantadosan. You're correct, Cantadosan. But again, as we approach this election season, I have a little bit more of an optimistic view because of the approach that I see the government has taken. So you're right. We have seen Brogard do some things, and the economy at the macro level is reflecting some of that. But you know what? There are also some other things to consider that make a whole heap of sense in the Jamaican context. I remember saying a few days ago in one of the lives that one of the struggles that the PMP has is that they are literally looking in the mirror and it's a reflection of their own self. They're literally facing their own demons. Now, while we cannot write off the American experience because Trump is just an anomaly in the political process, we still have to consider that in a broader spectrum, but still taking into consideration the factors that affect the Jamaican society locally. The Jamaican people, by nature, political nature, have always voted emotionally. So we will have some of that vote in this upcoming election, you know. Because if the Jamaica Labour Party is able to continue to have the PMP as a reflection of their own past, then the people will split the difference and they will always choose the JLP. And this coming budget, if this budget is able to reflect the needs of the people out there, who from time to time we hear them remind the government that cost of living is a little bit too high, then if this budget is able to administer to some of those emotions out there, what we call the misery index, then it will make a difference. One of the good things at this point of the political process is that the Jamaica Labour Party have not yet begun to campaign. And I think I know what Andrew Holness is doing. he continues to map the political landscape, and they are continuing to work on the messaging. Because just as you said that happened in the US, as long as the Republicans got the American people to focus on the price of eggs, then they were not willing to focus on anything else. If the messaging that will come out of the Jamaica Labour Party when them kick off this campaign will get the Jamaican people to focus on the things that are happening, that are transforming their lives, and the things that are coming that will make it a little bit easier. If that messaging will come, then it will resonate. Because already, remember 4 years the PNP made them way around the country. And at the same message they have today. Some people are not tired of that messaging. So
protecting, not to stop it, but all our neighbor, protecting Jay, for me still, I personally don't agree with what Contidos has said a while ago. I don't think the American election was about just the price of eggs. What we are seeing now from the PNP is basically what we saw from the Democrat. They didn't have a message. They were baseless. They didn't have a message. And I think the election was one on immigration. I think that was the number one pet peeve for the Americans that they were concerned about. Election, immigration. Now here in Jamaica, yes, cost of living is high, yes, but the government has still managed to hold inflation below 5%. Yeah. Crime is down almost 20%. Yes. I think those things will resonate more with the person. For me to protecting JA, this common man thing is kind of getting to me now. I'm starting to wonder what is this common man. We have an unemployment rate of 3.5%. What we need to do is, what I think we need to look at protecting JA is, out of this 3.5%, how many of these persons are unemployable? You have unemployment and unemployable. How many of these persons out of this 3.5% are unemployable, meaning they can't secure unemployment in an institution, a job, or anywhere? Then we can talk from there. But this argument about common man, it's starting to get to me now. I think we have passed the basics of just common man. I think the country has, the voters has gained a lot of different meditation, a lot of confidence, and obviously they are more educated now. I think we have just, I don't know, but for me, this common man thing is now getting too common now. Let's talk about common man.
And you're right, brother.
Odion?
All right, good night again, team. Thanks
good night. You the last time you were here, you were projecting 38 seats for the People's National Party. A day for the Jamaica Labour Party. A day in politics is 38.
For
the Jamaica Labour Party.
Oh, okay. I hear. Mm-hmm.
Do you think, Odion, that is a little ambitious based on the whole inflation matter? I'd like you to roll those two in and tell me how is it that you are going to overcome that drag?
All right, so the government has worked, and there's no question about that. And as I would have said earlier in prior conversation and discussions, that people will, once they get closer to the election, people will start to begin to weigh each political party as to, should I give up my apples and oranges for just a banana? And so because of that, when they assessed the level of work that the Jamaica Labour Party would have done over the last 9 years, and they paired that with what the People's National Party would have done in their 18 and a half years, and then another 4 years. So I think we have enough ammunition as a party, and the government has a lot to campaign on. We have managed to stabilize the economy. We have managed to run the economy in such a way that the additional resources that the electorate is asking for, it is simply out of the fact that they know that the government has managed the economy in such a way that they believe. And when they hear about the pretty figures that we have in the net international reserve, in our reserves, it is tremendous. We basically able to bring our unemployment down. The debt to GDP is now down. And as I said, people are starting to come into their own and start to appreciate more of what it is that we have now versus what it is that they are not aware of what's to come. So we have a big decision to make whenever the Prime Minister called the election. And it is, as I said, gonna quote the words of Floyd Green, forward ever, backward never. We all know the culture in Jamaica. It is something that I would love to see change somewhat, because we are so cultured in a way that you do 9 good and 1 bad, and then you get the feeling that people are more focusing on the one bad or the one negative or the one that you just didn't get right, as opposed to look at the positive.
Oh dear. You are saying though that the party is projecting to lose 14 seats.
It is possible. It is possible, but even so, the Jamaica Labour Party still have the political capital and the political will to reverse those tides in those constituencies that we might not win. Me suggesting that the PNP have the ability to double up on their seat is by no means saying that they will win the election. They will not. And you might look at 14 and say, well, if they get 14, why can't they get 18? It's rather difficult. Getting 14 is even a stretch. It is even giving back.
Why? All right. Let me cut, because since you spoke to me, sir, I have had to go back. Scratchy, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
I have had to go back to look at the numbers. I don't see. As I speak, the candidate for Northwest Manchester is having a function over at the Gulfview Hotel, where all young people in Manchester is being invited to a job expo or something like that. But you think Manchester is going to be tough?
Yeah, in any election, it's going to be a very competitive situation.
For Manchester.
For Manchester. And Manchester being competitive is not necessarily something that the JLP should be extremely worried about. Manchester has shown its tendencies to have large support for the opposition and also for the JLP. We have big bases in all the constituencies, especially in Central. In South Manchester, both political parties are relatively competitive. And I expect Manchester to actually perform like the Manchester of now or of yesterday, meaning that whichever party gets the advantage, we might have a 3-1 situation in the parish, or at best, both parties at full strength.
Unprecedented streak of new taxes, record low unemployment, unparalleled spending transforming communities in terms of infrastructure, significant increases in social spending supporting the vulnerable, highest level NIR ensuring economic stability. You've been fiscally responsible. The crime rate is declining. You're fostering safer communities. This is an exceptional record. You're not supposed to be losing seats.
Well, I will say this to you now. If you go to school and you do an exam and you return a grade of 5%, and your fellow classmate return a grade of 95%, irrespective of the fact that you are much more academically inclined than that individual, the likelihood of that individual gaining is far more than for you to maintain that 95 to go to 96. So we have to look at it from the perspective that the Jamaica Labour Party has a whole bunch of constituencies right now. We literally have 35 seats in excess of what the PNP has. So looking at it from that perspective, and looking at it to, from the perspective that we are back in an election mode where people are not only voting for development, people are not only voting for party leaders. We now have much more of both political parties base willing to support the political party and the ideology of which they can associate themselves with. and the number in which the PNP relies on. Because I can tell you, the PNP has nothing to gain from talking about Mark Golding. What the PNP is relying on is people voting PNP for the sake of the People's National Party and nothing else. Let us make that absolutely clear. And as a result, we will see them getting votes that they'll tell you, I'm not in anything with Mr. Golden or with the PNP hierarchy, but you know what? I'm voting orange in some constituencies. So by nature of that, we will see some constituencies becoming vulnerable if we're not able to maintain the votes that we need to in order to win constituencies. Because if you look at some of the seats, you know, that are really going to be competitive for the Labour Party, are the said seats that we literally won those seats with a bunch of the people on the other side not coming out. And I'm not suggesting that by any means that people abstaining is also a sign of rejection, yes. But I suspect that we will have more of both political party base coming out and drive up the numbers in some areas, and we will see a much tightening of the race. The JLP has it within them, though, to actually clear the PNP by at least 9 seats.
I have a question to Foresight, neighbor. I have a question to Foresight or something. Foresight.
Yeah. Go ahead, Scratchy.
Yeah, I was just thinking a while ago, based on something that Odian is saying. Base. We're looking at 47 to 48% voter turnout. With an increase in the voter turnout, Foresight, which party do you see that increase in benefiting?
Why, that's a good question enough, Scratchy, because that question I was thinking about the other day too, because this election is a little bit different from the rest. Usually, traditionally, they say a high voter turnout would benefit the party in opposition.
Exactly.
But there's so much at play now in terms of the achievements of this government. It's going to also depend a lot on the campaigning, how the two parties campaign. So there are other factors in this election that I think could contribute to a high voter turnout. I don't think the PNP message is resonating with anybody outside of their core support. And I think the PNP is being misguided and being misled by their own knives, right? I think as it stands now, I think the JLP has a better chance to attract new voters, right? Because they have a track record of solid achievements, right? And the PNP message is just one thing. Well, really two messages, right? As Cantadonia was saying earlier, distract us from the issues that matter. Get people to focus more on the excitement and the gimmicks, you know, because they can't challenge us on achievements. The PNP is staying clear of any conversation that involves like performance and achievements. If you notice, they're staying clear of that. So, and another part is don't look at what Andrew do, look at what Andrew have. So that's another message that the PNP is the kind of bad mind politics, you know. Don't love Andrew for what he does, right? But hate him for what him have, you know. I don't know how far that will go. We already start seeing, you know, some momentum on the JLP side. I think they have been, the PNP, people are getting tired of them because as the truth surface, what you find is that as the truth surface, that the PNP message, PNP is being exposed for who they really are. And people are kind of seeing the PNP as being this party that, you know, has nothing good to offer really in terms of no real solutions to the problem that we are facing, right? But a high voter turnout in this election, I think, could very well benefit the JLP.
Odian, as a statistician, Odian, what does the percentage look like to you base to base?
All right. I expect and I am expecting a a resurge in the voter turnout. We saw a 30% voter turnout in COVID-19 in the heights
Yeah,
of
that's
the
what I'm
pandemic.
saying. Base to base, what do you
And,
think it would look like?
Pretty much we could very well go back to like a 48% or thereabout. No?
So with that, by just within a minute, who you think a higher voter turnout will benefit this election?
I also particularly think it would benefit the Labour Party. We have seen some trends broken with this notion that a lower voter turnout will benefit the incumbent party. So that happened sometime in 2016 as well, and the incumbent was actually booted out of office. And we also saw in 2020 as well, the voter turnout was lower. The government actually retained state power on that. So it is becoming a little bit inconsistent sometimes. So we have to be careful of that and look at the messaging and look at what it is that people are gravitating to and the dynamics of the politics, because something is shifting, and whenever certain things are shifting, you have to pay attention, you know, because you don't want anything to crumble and you're not aware of it. So I think the JLP would benefit from a higher voter turnout.
Here how funny politics is as a science.
Yes, protecting.
Here how funny politics is as a science. And as I've been telling you guys for the past couple of weeks, on different lives, I will continue to hold the view that the Jamaica Labour Party is going to win. And they're going to win convincingly this election. And I continue to put forward why I say that. For the first time in Jamaica's history, there is a government in place that is doing development work in all 14 parishes of Jamaica. We have never had that before. For the first time in Jamaica's history, we have had a prime minister who is different from all other prime ministers that we have seen. For the first time in Jamaica's history, we have more people paying attention to the politics than ever before. For the first time in Jamaica's history, the mainstream media isn't leading the conversation about the politics of today. For the first time in Jamaica's history.
Well, certainly they can't lead because they're actually bleeding dry from their accounts based on what happened today.
Okay, and for the first time in Jamaica's history, the people of Jamaica have become aware of what government need to do for its citizens. That's for the first time in the history. So here we go up now. Those 18 seats that the JLP took from the PMP never gonna get them back. Because these people in Northern Trelawney, in Western Hanover, in the whole of Westmoreland and the seats in St. Elizabeth and wherever, for the first time, some of them are experiencing having 10 roads, having 10 roads being fixed at the same time, having water coming in the pipe. I see a man at St. Mary, video himself, literally rejoice because he can be down the pipe now, him not have to flash up water out of bath pan anymore. So, people of Jamaica are going to reward the government that bring all these services, just to show you that the PMP is failing this fight. The PMP change the argument now, because if you notice how Andrew do them, every minute them have to change them talk. The PMP change the argument now that the government now do nothing. You hear what them say? The government is doing this and the government is doing that. Isn't that the duty of the government? Okay. So let us change it upon them too. If it's a duty of the government, why when we did in a government to not do nothing, which is the duty of the government?
And the next argument is, in addition to that, for protecting, if the government is doing, right, what it's supposed to be doing, why change?
Okay. And so as audience said, the party have to be careful how they put together the messaging, because it is going to be the messaging that wins this election. It is going to be the messaging that carry home this election and keep the Jamaica Labour Party in place of its 49 and pick up the next 4 when we say it'll come with 53. And I
can tell you that the bulk of the persons in that white column, if you want to call it white or yellow, marginal or undecided, whatever, the bulk of those persons are just sitting there waiting for the JLP to start campaigning.
HR, anything you'd like to add? HR? HR?
Good night. Good night.
In terms of the question, HR, anything you'd like to add?
Run the question again, please.
A high voter turnout, who do you think it will benefit this election? The opposition or the governing party?
A high voter turnout, which party will it benefit? Well, that's a good question. I stepped away, but that's a good question. I'm of the view, you see, because political science has taught us that incumbent governments are oftentimes voted out, right?
Especially going for unprecedented third term.
Right. But I don't share that view necessarily. I don't share it. I think who takes home the trophy at the end of the day will come down to local politics. And we keep on talking about messaging, but some persons gloss over that. And messaging is important. Yes, the Labour Party has a lot to campaign, and that's an incontrovertible fact. Nobody can doubt that. But the messaging, how we speak to the electorate going forward, how we break down GDP so that the common man on the road can understand what GDP means. When the Prime Minister said good economic and name, what that mean? What does that mean? But I think the wave scratchy will be for the Jamaica Labour Party, because we have the achievements as one thing. But what I think we also have, and I think is a good currency that the Jamaica Labour Party have now, is the fact that Andrew has come into the fray with a different kind of politics. First of all, he's a post-independent baby, so he comes to the table with a different perspective on governance and politics. He's old enough to know the then, the now, and where he wants to take the country, given that he has the handle now. So the wave, I think, strategy will be for the Jamaica Labour Party. And but at the end of the day, it will come down to messaging and local politics.
So campaign strategy. I was really looking at the popular vote in the local government election, and the People's National Party actually cleared the JLP by about 21,000 votes, 21,700, I think.
Nationally?
Nationally. And when you look at what happened in the election, 20,000 of that 21,000 and change was a popular lead the PNP had in the corporate area. What does that say? Rural constituencies believe in Andrew Holness. And elections are not won in the corporate area. If you're going to have 21,500 as a lead nationally and 20,000 is in corporate area garrison seats, such as Southwest St. Andrew, East Kingston, Western St. Andrew, and those seats that you're already going to win anyhow, the JLP is in the driver's seat.
So maximizing those seats won't help you?
Maximizing those seats won't help. You're already counting those seats as PNP.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Odian. Because I said that on another live a few weeks ago. And some people take me on and I said, the majority of the popular voter here, the PNP are both about, were one in the corporate area. The corporate
yes, in the garrison.
Jamaica. In the garrison them. Okay.
Very much. Neighbor, anything like that?
Well, I wanted to ask Guru in terms of the impact of the campaign itself, because can a party really lose the election because it doesn't execute an effective campaign? How important is execution of your messaging during the campaign?
It's important, neighbor, and I'll tell you why.
So Guru, before you go, the party cannot win solely on its performance.
No, I don't think so.
It's a balance.
It's a balance. It's a balance that you have to strike. It's a balance that you have to strike, neighbor. Because one, you might have there's a fact the Jamaican electorate is not a homogeneous set of people. We're not homogeneous. No, we think
explain what that means.
Politics.
People are listening now.
Okay, so when I say homogeneous, I mean we're not one. You have different factions. We're a country of 3 million people, yes. But in that 3 million populace, you have different factions. You have different political factions, and you have people like us on this live who can understand when the Prime Minister talks about GDP, we can understand. But you have a different set of people that don't understand what that means at all. So when it comes to messaging, you have to break down. You have to break down complex politics, macroeconomic politics into bite-sized pieces and tie that to
it benefit him personally.
Right, how the common man, how that relates to the common man.
Protecting Jamaica has been suggesting that the body politics, the voters have changed, that they now want a conversation, not the ray thing, not selling so much again. Do you agree with that? And if that is so, don't you think that the party has an advantage in the conversation?
Well, the Labour Party has always had an advantage in the conversation, and I think, and I agree with you. Yes, there's a part for there's a place for the ray, but it's not a big part of the pie this time around. And if you look at how the Holness administration has conducted itself politically, yes, there's no. Even when the Prime Minister speaks on political platform, there's no mudslinging, there's no barbs being tossed. It's really talking to the people, talking to the captive audience. So,
but I think we have to do better. I think we have to do better in terms of the historical politics, though.
I agree.
I think you have to remind people.
I think the Jamaica Labour Party has been able to, over the years, to strike a good balance between the what you call the excitement and the respectful presentation, a respectful communication to the electorate. I think the PNP is more into the traditional ray. They are, predominantly, they are more onto that side in terms of, and if me go down and see bottom and, and tell us a shark go down there and whatever, them kind of style of politics there. PNP are still more into that.
And bear in mind that the excitement really boosts the basis of political parties. And it's basically the labor rights are energized and so forth. But the messaging now, it really is more important to those people in the white.
So Odian, what is the winning message? What is the winning message? What is the winning message tonight?
Well, it's not really just to find what exactly is the winning message. It's just to do a combination of stuff. And one of the things that I will continue to say, and the Labour Party has continued to do over the last 2 general elections, and I trust and hope that the political party that I support will just continue on this trajectory in terms of when you go on the political platform, the message, and in terms of speaking to Jamaica from the platform, speak about your performance, your track record, what it is that you continue, what it is that you're going to continue to do for the country, because JLP has moved away from calling their opposition name on the political platform. I like the idea about, okay, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be targeting this, we're going to be building hospitals, schools, we're going to be building bridges, highways, byways, we're going to be doing so many things. While the other side sees it fit now to say, oh, Jamaica Labour Party has to go because of this or whatever. We are actually telling the people why is it that they should continue putting their support in the government, and we have facts and data to back up our claim as to why they should re-elect us. So I wish the JLP continue on that part, because people really want to hear what it is that the country is facing and how we plan to navigate those challenges.
There is a view HR that the PNP has traditionally run strong campaigns, that even if they are behind 2-3 points beginning an election campaign, they normally make it up.
But that's what I was gonna say, neighbor, because what I wanted to say was come back to what Protecting JA had said earlier on. I think this campaign, the message that we're sending, we have to know or again know or we're gonna separate the government from the political party. I think the messaging we're gonna send in must be from the political party level and not from a governance level. If you understand what I mean. Right, Odian, you understand what I mean?
It has to be a mixture doing up scratcher, because
all right. I'm more a balance, because guess what? We don't want the message. All right, you have certain persons again already understand the macroeconomics, the GDP, the debt to ratio. We don't want a message where it is flying over the head of the persons who will be attending these political rallies in mass numbers and stuff like that.
What I think is going to be an effective strategy though, going forward is to do a lot of comparisons. We need to speak a lot about where the country is coming from and where we are now, right? And then where we'll be going in the future, right? What's the next plans? Future plans, and where the leader is planning to take the country. Now, what you have to understand is that there are some things that you have to find out what is very important to the electorate, right? There are some pain points that we have to address, and that should form a part of our strategy. The bread and butter issue, we are going to have to focus on some of those issues as well and speak to the electorate as to how we plan to address those issues, right? I think once we do that and we bring the excitement and the vibe, because you can't leave that out, right? I think we will be good, in securing the third term.
There is something that I referred to some time ago, and I even wrote to the Prime Minister concerning it. And it is, I don't know if it exists anywhere else. I did a brief search and I didn't find it. I refer to it as the political communication. It is very important because you see, the party have done all that it needs to do already to win a third, fourth, fifth, and so on, But it is how that is communicated. And as somebody said, there is no one thing to communicate to the people. And there is no one thing to leave out of that communication. The political communication must be in languages, different languages, because we speak to different parts of the society, as somebody said.
Exactly.
And it must be at a level that everybody can understand it. For example, I heard you ask somebody to break down a particular term a while ago. If the Jamaica Labour Party have an history of speaking to the middle and upper class,
which they do,
and so much so that the people who really vote, which is not the middle and upper class, they leave them out because they're not talking to them.
Exactly.
The truth is, now we are seeing where there is a difference in the communication. It needs to be tightened up. It needs to be bolstered. But we see some semblance of that they're learning. No, the political communication must not be complicated. For example, if I go to University of the West Indies, go study law, and Scratchy go downtown like George Wright go sell tomato, I must aim to communicate to Scratchy. Because if I communicate to Scratchy, I'm also communicating to the person who got university, go study law. Because the person who got university go study law, them come up from the grassroots to reach where them reach. But if I am only going to communicate to the person who got university, I'm going to leave out the man when I market to sell the tomato.
Yeah, you're not going to get Scratchy. You're going to fly over Scratchy head.
Right. So the communication need to be a political communication. I am talking to the people at the grassroots, and the middle class will understand, the upper middle class will understand, and the upper class will understand. And unless we approach it like that, and that's the reason why you hear me talk or me talk, because I'm going to draw a reference to the past, and I'm going to speak to the man in the street, because it is the man in the street who vote. The 38% that we talk about from time to time, the voter apathy in the society, and it is 38% of the society that votes. We need to examine who the 38% is. The 38% are the people who are referred to as the lumpens by, I think, Carl Stone, who wrote that book. And the man with low down the ground there. And when I examine that, we have to face the fact that a large majority of those people are either un or undereducated. So some of them are just the railway and the five are going to carry them to the polling station. My own breakdown gave me 78% of the 38% who are either under or uneducated. So even though a man can read and write, he might not comprehend. So just imagine the man who can read and write none at all.
What is being done for that demographic audience, HR? What is being done for that? For that set? No. How are we positioning ourselves to reach those?
Okay, well, I meant before Odian come in. The programs that the government have put in place are programs that administer to those people's needs. But guess what? We have to now fashion a communication method and a message that tell them, say, yes, and you will do that for.
Yes.
Because guess what? They really don't understand.
They don't understand.
So them go at the part of
And they
this
will
and see
vote
the
against
increase.
interest based on the fact that they don't understand.
Yeah,
We don't even
and them
realize
go at the part
that
of
they're
this go
voting
get the
against
increase,
their
you know.
interest.
At the 75-year-old, where all them ever do is work the ground and them not understand much, and them are benefit from the social pension. But the messaging now need for repeating of them ears say, it is Andrew Holness that do that for you. And unless we do that kind of political communication, them are go march, go right in the voting booth, go
And neighbor, in addition to that protecting JLP, that group neighbor responds to what it sounds like, not necessarily what it is.
Yes.
It has to sound like what it is. It's not just good enough to give them the benefits. It has to sound like in your communication, they have to know, you have to convince them that this actually is helping you because they're not going to see it for themselves.
Yes. And do you think that, because
it's a new world we live in, I know.
And
does it matter who is carrying the message, as long as the message is being carried?
Well,
culture is important as well, because when you look at the various programs through HEART, when you look at the CARE program, the LIFT program, when you look at the regular programs through HEART that the government has put in place, remove all tuition fees, an associate degree, up to level 4, and then those persons who are trained in various areas can come back and get a grant in order to go out and start doing their own thing. So we have to try and appeal to that base of people. When I heard the member from East Kingston and Port Royal, Paul, speaking about 700,000 persons is no longer seeking employment, what would have actually led to that 700,000 persons that he claims is not seeking employment? The fact of the matter is, these set of people perhaps withdraw for various reasons, lazy, and he, according to Warmington, he can speak to that group of persons who have recruited themselves from the labor market because they have no intention to work. They want a government that when that government is in place, them can go sit down a parish council step, now them orange shirt and sit waiting on every other week to collect a check for work that is not done. So that is why him can come out and say, oh, 700,000 people in that 3.5 is no longer seeking employment. But the government has done a lot persons to upskill themselves.
I really want to get back to HR, but one of my listeners is begging you to take us over to St. Catherine East Central. They are saying it's one of the seats that the PNP has targeted.
They have been targeting that seat ever since its creation.
Tell us what is going to happen over there, please.
What's going to happen? It is very evident. The PNP felt as though they had what you would call a momentum in the local government election. And even if you want to suggest that there was a momentum for the PNP, if you look in St. Catherine East Central, St. Catherine East Central was saying that we are okay with Terry Long. We, the Jamaica Labour Party, has not held a second division in that seat forever. And if it is that no, with the tide seemingly going your way, and Terry Long pick up another division, albeit it was by about 3 or 4 votes, it doesn't matter. It's one more division. Simply mean that whatever the margin that he will have in Gregory Park, Portmore Pines will not be able to literally overcome that, because therefore there's almost no zero in terms of the South Borough division or a potential lead for the Labour Party. So I can't see Terry Long losing. I just can't see it. When South Borough division, when Damala won that division, I said, okay, irrespective of the margin, add that to Gregory Park, the Labour Party is going to win that constituency. the seat of East Central St. Catherine is one the PNP has always targeted, similar to how we would have been targeting Central Manchester. But it is a seat that once the JLP do the work, which I know Terry Long is doing the work, and I say is because he continues to do the work, that seat will remain faithful for the Jamaica Labour Party. I have no doubt. So we can.
How important is the ground game, Odi, the ground game in terms of on election day? Explain to our listeners the importance of whatever you have done through the campaign. Now comes election day. And speak also about money, because you have the experience here. What about funding and making sure that you have the proper people in place, your supervisors, your runners?
Right. You have to have your cluster supervisors, your runner, your driver, your indoor, your outdoor, all the key stakeholders in terms of to have proper election machinery, have adequate vehicles to transport persons to and from their locations. Now you're going to be pairing that effort with your canvas, what it is that your canvas has suggested. Ensure that you set strategic targets in terms
of... What is a canvas?
A canvas is basically you having an idea as to where your votes are, the number of votes that you expect to receive from a particular PD, and also it gives you information as to the percentage, it gives you information as to what your base is, and it also gives you information as to the likelihood of having 10% or 15% of people coming out to vote. So it basically, you have several canvases. You have what we call a hot canvas, a cold canvas. A cold canvas basically is persons just ticking off those persons who are either PRJ that they know outright. Whether they sit on the veranda and do that, that's really a cold canvas. And you map that onto elections in the past. A hot canvas now is like that one that is very closest to the poll. How people feel about it, you know. If your supporters, who are disgruntled, then I'm not voting because of this. You have to go out now, stop a Mary Jane house, ask her, will you be voting in next general election? If yes, okay. If no, why? What's happening? So you have to do the hot canvas. So it gives political party an idea as to what the situation, how the ground is, where it needs more strength, where it needs more resources in order to bring out and to mobilize your voters in the area. It also gives you the idea as to how you arrange your transportation, etc.
Mind you, it's not the canvassing is not absolute in its predictions, but it's a very good measuring stick. Right, it's a very good measuring stick.
So I am told that by 3 o'clock on election day, you should know if you win in that seat.
Yes.
Right. It really should give you a good.
You should have a fair idea. Yes. You should have a fair idea as to what's happening. Different constituencies have their way of doing their thing and all of that. Some person set up database and send information and feedback from various clusters to a system, and they start to run up the numbers and know exactly where it is that is falling down, where it needs so they can do that once you have good organization and structure.
And how much money does it take to run an election in a constituency? I hear what was that, $10 million?
I can say it is not an absolute figure as well. You can't even look at the average figure that you need, because every constituency is unique. You have some constituencies that $0 will win the constituency for you. Yes. You have some that 40 million will still not be enough. So it all depends. The party will still give every single candidate a base to start with, and then strategically now use the seats that they must win to retain government a little more. And also now the individual candidates in these constituencies now will have their personal fundraising events and have their personal sponsors in order to boost what it is that they get from Party Central, etc. But there's no...
Who are the runners? Who are the runners now?
The runners are basically one of your key human resource person on election day. It is a person that while you have your indoor and your outdoor based at the polling station, the runners are the persons who really in the communities, day in, day out, they know who are the voters. They know where they are. They know that John Brown that one buy the drink at 12 o'clock. Around the same need to go find John Brown. So the runners are the person who's able now to communicate with the voters and to say, it's time now, we'll come pick you up. Those persons now go out and encourage the voters to go to the polling station and cast their ballots. Their job is to locate, find, and ensure that votes are delivered in ballot boxes. Very critical human resource.
Fantastic. No, media audience. How important do you think is social media in this election, and how is the party planning to use social media?
All right. Well, the entire country.
By the way, audience, 48,000 viewers have watched this program in 1 week.
Oh, that's tremendous. Excellent. Congratulations. That's really far-reaching. And the persons are now able to...
And can I tell you this?
Advent of technology.
22% of them are from overseas.
That's close to a quarter.
How many are on now, neighbor?
No.
How many watching now,
If
neighbor?
you look on the screen now, you see 154. That's not the amount of people watching, You have to tap the screen to come up. A lot of people watch, but they watch.
They're watching from the For You page.
Yeah, on the For You page, yeah.
Yes. The total number of people watching us now is over 3,800. Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
Represent them with good information.
3,800.
I think the program is very informative.
It's actually going up. It's closer to 4,000 people that are tuned in. Yes.
I had a question that I wanted to ask, neighbor.
Yes.
As we were on the same topic of the whole campaign and messaging, what I wanted to ask the panel is, how important are the persons who are the messengers? Is the messenger as important as the message? Or we just can't let anybody carry the message?
No, you still have to.
It is important. So everything in politics is balance.
The message is important.
There are some persons that you take or you send to pick up Mary Jane to come to the polling station. But you will hear, you know what? If it is not Kimberly that is coming for me, I'm not going anywhere. So you have to be strategic. You have to know who is it that is best suited to take out a certain demographic of persons to vote. I encountered a young man today in St. James that is telling me that he has never voted in the last two general elections, which is 2020 and 2016. One of them, he was not in Jamaica, and the other one, he voted, he said, in the last couple of local elections, and voted Michael True, and said, then I have never ever voted, and will never ever vote for the PNP in a general election. And he's from the Granville division, and he's saying that, look, a lot of people don't understand the dynamics of that constituency. It has a high level of persons who would vote for a councillor who they like. However, when they look at the broader picture, they recognize the prime minister who they want. And you will see a shifting of what the expectation from persons based on the local. I'm telling you, they're going to see some surprises in terms of the performance, especially in that seat.
Mallow Fort?
Yeah, she's going to win the constituency.
Mallahu Fort is going to win back. You think really, sir?
Yeah, I all right, look at it. The People's National Party coming out of a very intensified political campaign, a very competitive local government elections. They won 2 of the 3 divisions, which they have been doing so for the last 49 years inside the constituency. However, the Jamaica Labour Party would have held that constituency for 4 general elections out of the last 5. And the Jamaica Labour Party would have won the Granville division for the last two general elections and would have lost it significantly to the PNP for the last two local in the Granville area. They have a very high, what you could call it now, thing when it goes for the councillor, because the councillor is reachable, as they would say, for the opposition. And I am telling you, the JLP would have basically hit a 2,094 number of votes in Granville, and the PNP would have lost because they polled 1,800, and that was like about 200 more than what their local candidate Michael Troop poll. And you know what? When the JLP go into a local election, they're not going to get 2,094 votes. They struggle to even pass 900 votes. Because what? It's local election and it's okay, we're voting for the council we like. So the gap that the PNP came out of Granville with in local election will not be that gap in a general election. And they will struggle.
And I have a bias towards Manaho Ford because I really would want her to retain her seat. I would really. I don't live in St. James, but I have a bias towards Marty Manaho Ford. I want her to retain her seat very much.
If you want to even, if you disbelieve me in terms of the dynamics of the constituency, there are three divisions: Mount Salem, Granville, Spring Gardens. The PNP just came out of Granville division, winning by over 700 and odd votes. That's the margin the council has. And the overall margin in the constituency, the PNP has a lead of 132. And this is also because the Jamaica Labour Party would have actually, as you know, we're not going to have such a wide margin for the PNP in a general election. They just don't, they're just not going to have the numbers. Coupled with the fact that Spring Gardens did not turn out and vote in their big number that they will be able to do in a general election. I think we got about 800 and odd. Yeah, I think the lead was about 800 and odd votes. But because the lead the PNP had in Mount Salem, which is 100 and change, plus with their 700 change, they go to about 900 and a little bit. And then our 800 gap now was taken out of that, left the PNP slightly ahead by 132. But the PNP would have actually assessed themselves and recognized that they are in trouble, even despite winning two divisions. Because I can tell you, when the JLP go into Spring Gardens, it's going to be over 1,000 that the lead will be. And our last margin of victory, in terms of you looking at the breakdown, I think Mount Salem
1259, 1117. Odian, it took a break.
Hello?
Sorry. Mount Salem is 1259 for the PNP, 1117 for the JLP.
Right.
So the PNP won Mount Salem. He's gone again. 9:30, we go up until 10 o'clock.
I am here now.
You are there?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
All right. So you were saying that the PNP won Spring Gardens. And
no, the JLP won Spring Gardens. The PNP won Granville and Mount Salem.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You won Spring Gardens. So
right.
so you are saying that you have the numbers in Spring Gardens to overtake what they can do in Mount Salem.
In Mount Salem, to a lesser extent, and even in Granville. If you look at her,
but why was there a little bit of a challenge down there with Mark? Some of the delegates were, he's gone again.
But the thing is, there are two main advantages that the JLP will have in this election, right? And that's the popularity of Andrew and the performance of the MPs, right?
So for foresight, in terms of persons going to vote, how many out of every 10 persons who go into the ballot box, how many you think vote for the leader, the party, and the candidate? And do you think people vote on issues? So break that down for me and let me understand.
It's the messaging, that determines that, that helps to determine how people vote, because you can craft a message in a way to give people the feeling that, to create a feeling in people that this is the party to continue support, right? So what is happening is that, as I always maintain, that people sometimes, you have a lot of people, especially those that you call the common man, they tend to vote based on how they feel a lot of times, not necessarily what they know, right? So when a man goes into a polling station, right? If it's a common man that goes into that polling station, then the common man tends to think about personal things, how the party benefit him, how him benefit, how him feel about the party, how him MP treat him, how often him see him MP, things like those, very petty issues at times, right? A middle class might think about his salary, what's the kind of salary increase? Is my life better under this government? Things like those, what am I able to do now that I wasn't able to do like 3 years, 5 years ago, his kids, the future for his kids, how he's looking under this government versus the previous government. So things like those. So it all depends on the man, and it depends on the message is being interpreted based on the voter that goes into that polling station and how he thinks, right? So that's why you have to have different messages for different categories of people, right?
Yeah. So there is the coattail effect. People are going to vote for Andrew. You don't think so? A lot of people will not vote.
All right. What I realize is that in the urban areas, I think people who are in the rural areas, I think the representation in their constituency is more important to those people, right?
All right. Uh-huh.
In Kingston now, in the Kingston area, you find that people will vote based on the popularity and the gimmicks and the excitement. But the man in the rural area now, I go want to know, say, him see him MP regularly, who turn up at the night, who do the farm roads them,
and in 2 bag of feed.
2 bag of feed. You understand? That is what more important to the man in the rural area. You understand?
Yeah.
In a town now, who bring the vibes, who bring the excitement, and who that's what you hear from McGregor talk about keeping your something there, and dance and all them something there. Keep the round robin, and because for them they will respond positively to those kind of things, right? But
fantastic, fascinating.
But it is, as I say, it depends on the constituency. You have to know what is important to the people in your constituency, and you have to respond and address the needs of those people.
So candidates matter, eh?
Yeah, because people in Mona don't necessarily want to see them and all pastors. They don't necessarily need to see them MP every day.
But they want their vote,
right? But the people in Kentire might want to see them MP more regularly. You understand? So every division, based on the kind of different demographics, will respond differently to different type of behaviors or different factors. You understand?
Very good. I see Rick Trigger and Wealthy on, and we only have 24 minutes. Rick Trigger, can't sleep. Wealthy.
Good night, everyone. I'm here. I just got in.
Who is here?
Wealthy's here.
Wealthy, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. And you? What's going on?
Boy, you throw us away all day, man. Where you been?
I've been busy. Work had me busy today, man. I was busy. Today's one of them days.
Prosperity, eh?
Yeah, that is it.
And productivity.
Prosperity and productivity.
How you see things now, eh?
Well, to be honest, I'm very optimistic.
Yes.
Keeping my eyes open to see what the voters will do, to see also if what the government is currently doing in terms of building a stronger economy, building out the road networks in the country, as well as providing job opportunities, to see if that resonates well with the populace I think it does, but as one of my grade 6 teacher would say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So I wait and see when our Honorable Prime Minister calls the election to see what the electors will decide.
Yeah, I see Don Anderson suggesting that 46% of them say the country not going in the right direction.
Well, 46, that means the what? 56% sees that it's going in the 54% rather sees that it's going in the right direction. So again, I remain optimistic. Won't be jaded, won't be delayed away by the 46%, but I remain steadfast to see that and to say that the Jamaica Labour Party will come out victorious in the next general election when it is called.
Yes, and how many seats you think that you're gonna lose?
I predict 5.
5.
But I predict 5.
You're gonna win 44 seats.
44. I predict 5. We're losing 5. So let us see. I predict 5.
At this point, we can't really make any prediction enough. Because we haven't even started campaign as yet.
Yeah.
And a lot is going to change when the campaign starts.
Prediction is not the end. It's not set in stone in a foresight. So I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying.
Question good. If we lose any, we have to be optimistic because Jamaican people sometimes fool, and then they really make good decisions at the end of the day. So you have to have that prediction. But we always be ambitious. We're always gonna be ambitious. Of course, 53 sounds feasible. But let us be realistic nonetheless. We'll retain, let us try and retain our 49 and gain 2 more. Let us see.
Very good, very good. Scratchy.
Yes, neighbor.
Boy, it's been a marathon, eh?
Yeah, I have a question that I'd like to ask Welty.
Sure.
Welty, the upcoming budget is to be presented in the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? We have seen over the past years, every budget, we have seen that past and previous governments has always tried to cater for university students and college graduate persons going to college and university. What do you think this government can bring in this government that the college group would feel some form of joy or if I should say about with the government?
In terms of it's not in terms of tuition or in terms of living accommodation, or
I mean, whatever you think the government can add. What you think the government? We've seen where they remove the guarantor. We have seen stuff that they have always done towards the budget for students attending university. What do you think we really grab that core at this time?
I'm honestly not sure at this point in time, seeing that we have so many things out there that would have, well, I thought would have, grabbed their attention as well as to pull them in. But the government really don't have control over the housing cost for students. So that would be an issue that I think they could tackle if it's possible. I'm not sure where in terms of how students rent, and on-campus living, etc. That could be something that can be tapped into if the government has some form of control. I'm not sure.
And that's a good point. That's a good point, Welty, because I was speaking with some university students and they were saying to me that it would be great if within the student loan, if the government could add some form of housing towards it.
That
is one of the pain points that students every year.
That would be
students come from all over. We're affordable accommodation is one of the pain points.
And not only that, but what they could have done, what they could do also is to create or build student living environment or complexes. So the students would get that area designated to themselves, whether it be that they are a student for UTech, UA, CMU, etc. Or they can build it right across the length and breadth of Kingston.
The chaps is even
and
saying it well to that
surrounding areas.
incorporate housing in the student loan. I think that would be a big thing for
That would be a
students.
great thing. If they did that, let me tell you, say if they do that, you can guarantee that the Jamaica Labour Party will be in power for the third, fourth, and fifth term.
So
go ahead.
So yeah, because I realized I read this. I think they're gonna put it in the budget because the finance minister. I was reading an article. The finance minister said the government to consider having SBL loans to cover housing for tertiary students. So I think the government is thinking about it, whether or not
is that, if you don't mind me asking, because I like to read information for myself. So when I speak, I know where I'm coming from. If you don't mind sharing it with me.
One thing is sure.
I'm sorry, your mic is muted, so I'm not
you the article, right? Yeah, you asked where, like, which source?
Yeah, sure.
I got it from Loop Jamaica News.
Loop?
Yeah, Loop. Yeah.
Okay. You have a date for the article?
I think it was 2 days ago.
All right, then. No problem.
Finance minister, yeah.
I'll go on the website. All right, thanks so much. But yeah, that would be a great thing if they did that.
Yeah, well, it's a fantastic idea, really. It really is a fantastic idea. In Scratchy?
Definitely. I think a lot of students are anticipating, saying that incorporating it within the student loan would be something real good, because we have seen where students, just because they get a student loan, it doesn't mean that it's still that they have housing, they have books. There's a lot of things that's still there that still need to be done.
Yes.
But they did say that this budget is going to focus on a lot of the issues relating to cost of living. That is something that they said. So
I'm wondering if I'm getting any more increases in salary this budget around. Let me see. Are any increments? Let me see.
Yes, I believe increases will be coming in this budget. Increases will be coming in this budget as well.
Then I can't wait for March 11. I feel like I don't want to go to work.
The big question though is whether or not they're going to have, if we're going to see another increase in the income tax threshold.
No, man.
I don't think that we're going to see an increase in income tax threshold, because I remember before Nigel Clark leave, when time Mark Golden was talking about pushing it to the 3 million. Nigel Clark made a statement where we were saying that the amount of persons who were at that level, it won't create that big of an impact. It would make sense. I believe he quoted a number. I don't want to misinform or anything, but he quoted a number where he said that based on those amounts, it wouldn't make any sense to try to reach that amount. That's a small amount of persons, he said. So he said that it wouldn't make no sense. That's why he said that he went for the 1.7.
And that, no, but even though we can't get the 3 just like that, I believe that steadily they will increase it. So probably they at 1.7, or probably they put it to 2 million, or probably they put it to 1.9. So that's how I think they're gonna do it.
I was thinking maybe 2.5 would be the next.
You're pushing it, man. We
No,
want
I'm
the
not
crew government.
for 3, but I was just thinking maybe possibly 2.5.
I think based on the massive salary increase that they have granted, I don't think they will want to give away back so much again.
But remember, them increasing salary.
But Scratchy. You don't think that a little run with it has to be there, man?
Well, the prime minister spoke about run with it. He said
he has an election to win.
I don't think, and he's saying that he doesn't have to run with it to win this election.
But Scratchy, the prime minister not gonna come out bold and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do it." He can't say that. People are gonna criticize. So
no, we're not gonna in the office say that. Based on the budget we're gonna present, and that we're gonna use and judge if I run with it.
Him gonna come in and run with it. All right. So just
no,
for you guys to know.
Come in and run with it, man. You might run with it. Can't throw away about physical.
That should bear in mind that PNP will be coming with a threshold. A threshold increase.
But then Scratchy, you have 5 years to correct it.
I think maybe if Beryl and Raphael didn't kind of gave us those 2 period of contraction, I think maybe we could have seen.
It's better to be in there thinking about how you're going to correct it than to be outside thinking about how Julian is correcting it.
Yeah, but that's what I said too. That's why I say what we
whatever the Prime Minister come with,
worry about PNP.
Whatever the Prime Minister come with Foxline would be within our means. I don't think he's going to do anything to try and show off the economy.
I think if you look at the budget, Scratchy, the government is going to be spending more this year. Okay?
They have 60 billion. They have 60 billion in expenditure.
They are paying less on debt.
They have 60 billion in expenditure to spend.
Huh?
They have 60 billion budgeted for expenditure.
Yes, and I think Jamaica should understand that the significance of that the government, by its prudent management of the affairs of the country, now has the latitude to spend more. So they don't really have to run with it for it to seem like they are running with it. But I think that you have an election to win. You have to give the people some.
Well, anything that we'll be getting is from that $60 billion.
Not to think of it this way. That's what I was gonna say. And you realize that what we. I don't want to say this online, but I believe that you realize how quickly we would have maneuvered the situation in terms of the medical consultants as well as persons that are supposed to get their retroactive. We don't want that on our hands. That's the reason why we would have said, all right, we're gonna pay it out this week, by the end of this week. So because to get rid of all that backlog, so we incorporate new things as well as.
And the government
let us do a little round robin. There's 1, 2, 3, 8 of us, and we have 11 minutes. So a minute and a half. Let's start with you. Facts done. You there?
Yeah, man, I'm there.
Yeah, man. Give us your minute and a half of how the party is to proceed moving forward from this point on.
For me personally, I think the party, the biggest thing going forward is communication. Communication, because there's a lot of programs out there that a lot of persons is not aware of. They're not aware of that the government do this or the party do this. So me personally, I think communication is the biggest key. Whether you go up on the ground or you do some town hall meeting, you do some flyers or some type of them type of something there. So me personally, communication is the biggest.
So if the party communicates, you think that it can strengthen its position?
Yes, it can strengthen its position. Communication. Yeah.
Great. Guru.
You could go to Foresight and then Guru.
Foresight seems to be on a break. Maki Flex, you didn't say anything.
Yeah, Maki, I can let Maki go.
Maki.
You hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you. You have a minute and a half.
Yeah, my view is this. I kind of concur with what Foxdown said. My issue from ever since has been how we communicate. You ever notice the old time commercials on TV? When you want to convey a message to the average man, it is role played. It is done in such a way that it seems so, easy to understand and assimilate. You can say, oh, I understand the mass a year. So, similar to like what Nigel Clark did when he was finance minister. When he was going to present his budget, what he did is send like a pump in the Guinea, the Observer, and just break it down. Just simple. I think some more of those things need to be done, right? And some of the programs, can be role played. Some, you just send it out there on the TV so a person can appreciate what is happening. Some never look on it that way. For example, this can work, for example. So I think that needs to be done. And I believe as relates to what is happening now, we are at the back end now at the match, really, in terms of the political parliamentary cycle. And I believe that the runs to be scored is going to come now on how we just show up what we have done. Because I think persons, apart from the roads that is being fixed or being patched, a person need to see a little bit more, and it needs to be more aggressive where that's concerned. So the how I put it now, the soft campaigning is happening now, but we need to go more aggressive with it now, and looking forward to that happening. So I believe when that happens, we'll be in a better state going forward.
You think that we have to be more aggressive, step up the campaigning?
Yes, the average man wants to see the mass political rallies, but I believe what needs to happen now is whilst we're managing government until the election, we still need to go and say, all right, this is it now. We have various persons around the place. I know Top Fan is doing a good job. I know the social Pernell and Matthew. We see them more, see those gentlemen more. So we need to see more from the others now in terms of flagship things. I know some stuff we won't see, like foreign affairs, we won't see that in terms of the average man, but I believe they can be more aggressive, neighbor.
Fantastic. Foresight?
Yeah, I believe we need to have a very robust campaign, one that comes with a compelling message,
Yes.
that resonates with all the cohorts, of the electorate, right? I believe it must be filled with excitement. It must come with dominance,
And it has to also deliver an aspirational message, eh?
Right. And I think we have the record of achievements already. I think the only thing that we need to do now is to find a way to communicate the message, in a very clear way, and in a very clear way,
yes.
And in a way that when a person leaves these rallies are they carry the message with them. They are motivated to share the message. They feel good, right? It must appeal to emotions, and it must not just be boring and about just winning the mind, but also to win hearts, right? So that people, right? Yeah,
fantastic.
Right.
Protecting.
Once we do that, we should be good.
Protecting flawlessly.
Man, maybe just a back up where Foresight is like a Foresight up on the right track. It's just the political communication. Because we have the achievements. It's just to put the messaging together in a way that the grassroots people can understand. Say, them the economy.
The question protecting is how many seats we are going. The party should win. It's not about whether it will win.
53.
No. Well, without saying that, I am putting the argument that it really is about how many seats the party will retain, not whether it will win.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question there. The party will win.
Right.
The party will win. And I mean, as I say, in my objective view to it, as you guys notice throughout my time communicating on the media here, that the perspective that I have and I espouse very confidently is just that I will observe from the angle that I am at, and I kind of take the approach of not just considering the contemporary political positions, because I believe that the politics is changing nationally.
Yes.
And so the usual metric that would have been used in the analysis to arrive at a particular position, we cannot use them anymore. 2020 was not just an anomaly for me. 2020 was the opportunity that the JLP got to stamp its stake on the Jamaican political landscape. And I believe that those seats, even though a few of them, it's going to be a literal dogfight, but I believe that the JLP have done enough work. And we're talking about the Central Manchester, the South Manchester, the Hanover. We're seeing in Westmoreland now where JLP is leading. Nobody couldn't even consider that would be possible 20 years ago. And so the politics itself is changing because the Jamaican people are becoming more aware. The Jamaican people are becoming more traveled now. And they go to other countries and they see the kind of societies that work. And they want that for our society. And so the JLP is the only group of people in the country who are offering that to the Jamaican people, or who have ever offered that to the Jamaican people. Because when we look at the history of the JLP, which is now coming up more and more in the discussions, because when people go back, we can pinpoint what the JLP have done to advance the Jamaican society. While the PMP don't like to have a discussion in their past, because their past is not that colorful at all, pretty. Them past no look good, so them not like talk about the past, So when you look at the overall picture, it is just a matter of the JLP will win. But the Jamaican people, I believe, are going to reward the Jamaica Labour Party for having been good stewards of the taxes that the JLP have collected, having not raised any new tax for 9 years. And that is commendable. And so the messaging, we go back to the messaging, we'll have to take those into consideration. And the communication will have to be political communication into consideration, and they communicate.
Go ahead. Scratchy?
Again, yes, neighbor.
You have the final word.
It's all about communication. Government has put in the work already. It's now to how do we spread the message of the government with the common person, again, the common man, as we tend to normally call them. Again, we're on a platform which is social media, which I think the common man uses. Common man spend a lot of time on this platform. Today I was just doing a little rough check, and I counted where we had about 6 to 7 lives going on, which is all in support of the Jamaica Labour Party and the government movement. I think us as bloggers, we just need to keep focused, continue to press the government message, continue to press the word out, because we are who the common man look to for information. We, as simple as we might take it, we have given a lot of information to persons who didn't know a lot of stuff, just as JLP bloggers. So I think we just need to keep focus, same way as bloggers, continue to push the message. We are on here from 5 in the morning till right back again till 5 in the morning. We are doing the work, and I think we just have to continue to push the message. Just continue to push the message. Don't be distracted by the comments coming on our platform and trying to distract us. I think we have reached a level now where we need to drop them and just focus on pushing the message of the government and Jamaica Labour Party by extension.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you for staying with us, and all of you 150 odd persons that are tuned in. Thank you so much. Foresight, Facts Done, HR Guru, Protecting Jamaica, Scratchy, Mackie Flex, and Rick Trigger.
Blessings, man.
Keep the flow. Wealthy, big up yourself.
All right, take care.
What's up?
Mark, leave us alone, Mark. Mark is always distracting us, Mark. Mark is Dre Bryan boyfriend,
Thank you so much. Good night, everyone. Good night.
Someday we'll be together. Oh yeah.
Good night.